Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another DC animated movie review, everybody. And today, we are reviewing the newest one that is out to buy digitally. The physical release on Blu-ray and 4K is in 2 weeks, and that is Justice Society World War II. It's the newest added featured movie to the DC animated universe, and they have started a new universe since the other one ended with the Justice League Darkseid Apocalypse War. This new one is starting to grow after watching this movie. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep this spoiler free, or at least as much as I possibly can spoiler free, because there is a trailer out for this movie. So I love the DC animated universe. I always have. I've loved it since the Superman Doomsday movie came out back, I think it was in 2005 or 6, maybe a year before that. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Like, I have every single movie. I love what they do with these DC animated movies. And this is another great addition to this grouping of movies. Great addition. This movie keeps that art style that we are seeing in these newer ones that they're doing with this new universe. The one with the new Superman animated movie, and then the Batman movie that just came out that took place in the 70s. Like, it keeps that art style. I like this new art style that they're doing. I like that all the characters and stuff are really outlined with the black outlining and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's different. It's different than what they were doing, but I really enjoy it. So, this movie is about Barry Allen's Flash, because anytime time is being messed with the multiverse and other Earths in the DC universe, it's always the Flash. He's the perfect character to do this with. So our movie starts out with him. We get to see a little bit about him and Iris and their relationship and all that stuff. And then he has an encounter where he has to go help. And I'm not going to say who it was with and what was going on, because I'm not going to spoil the movie. And something ends up happening, of course. You know, Barry and his Speed Force abilities taps into the Speed Force, and he goes back in time to World War II, and he is right in the middle of the battle in World War II, and he ends up running into Wonder Woman, who we find out is the leader of the Justice Society of America, everybody. That is correct. This movie really shows off the Justice Society of America, and there's a lot of characters in this movie that get some love and some awesome on-screen treatment that a lot of them have not gotten, and they did a fantastic job with all of these characters. So we already got Barry Allen's Flash out of the way. He's kind of one of our main characters of the movie, obviously. We have Wonder Woman, and this is the Wonder Woman from World War II era, so her costume resembles that a lot. And she's the leader of this group. She's very heroic. She's badass in this movie. Very badass. There were a few points where she was fighting. It really reminded me of the live-action Wonder Woman movie where she's fighting the Nazis. Like, even though this was the animated movies during World War II, like, it really reminded me of that. There was even part of the music there for a second that it sounded a lot like that Wonder Woman theme. Just a little. I almost feel like they were teasing us with that. So, but yeah, she badass, man. She is like beating the hell out of these German soldiers and everything. Flinging them, kicking them, all sorts of crazy shit. So, Steve Trevor, of course, is in this movie. And we get to see her, Wonder Woman and Steve, their relationship and stuff. And there's some pretty interesting and cool things going on between them. There's some funny parts with it too, so it's kind of cool. Hawkman, we get a classic Hawkman in this movie, because Hawkman is an ancient Egyptian character that has, once he dies, and then Shaira, Hawk Girl, dies, they are both, eventually they're reborn, but they have to both die in order for them to each be reborn, and then they're reborn, and it's sometimes each one of them, one will die first, and then the other one will die first. It just... cool character. Hawkman is a really cool character, and I love that he got some awesome screen time in this movie, because it's a character that the DC like comics like haven't quite figured out in live action. And hopefully the Black Adam movie, hopefully we're gonna get a badass Hawkman, because this animated movie did a good job, and he had a very classic look to his character, classic comic book look. That's the thing about a lot of these characters, they're their old comic book classic look to them. So Hawkman was done great. Jay Garrick, everybody, the original Flash, is in this movie too. Awesome. Awesome. Anytime that him and Barry are on screen together, fantastic stuff in this movie. Seriously, fantastic, because they learn things about their powers and abilities from each other and realize, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. And they're both like teaching each other things about their abilities and powers and the Speed Force. And like anytime they're on screen together in this movie, awesome stuff. Like seriously, awesome stuff. We get some Black Canary, some classic Black Canary. And man, I gotta tell you, by the end of this movie, I don't know if I've ever seen Black Canary using her powers like she was in this animated movie, you guys. Like seriously, bad ass shit with Black Canary. Fantastic job with her. Hourman, another character that does not get enough screen time. Hourman is awesome. So the thing with Hourman is he's a guy, you know, he's your beefed up, muscly type of guy, you know, that can work out and he's strong. But he ends up making this formula that basically gives him superhuman strength for 1 hour. And that's why he's called Hourman. So very interesting character, especially because he takes this stuff and he really only can take it in a 24-hour period. So once he takes it, he has an hour to go be the badass, tough, superhuman Hourman. And once that hour's up, it wears off, and then he has to wait 24 hours to take another dose. So, and that, you know, that kind of stuff happens throughout the movie. You run into that stuff. He's got the classic look. Great addition to the cast. Great addition. And there is quite a few more characters that end up being in this movie, and I'm not going to tell you who they are because a few of them were surprises to me. Like seriously, a few of them were surprises to me. Yeah, surprises. So, and the crazy thing about this movie is like, you think you know how this movie is going, and then about 2/3 into the movie, I would say, about 2/3 into the movie, something happens and they actually reveal something, and it totally like changes the whole aspect of just on how of what you thought was going on in the movie, because then you actually find out what's really going on in the movie, and you really feel like you're along the ride with Barry and you're in his shoes and you're like, whoa, okay, what is going on here? Like, it's crazy, you guys. Great. This is a great movie. This is one of the better animated DC movies they've put out, I would say, in quite some time. This reminded me a lot of the oh god, I can't remember the other Justice League animated movie that they did back in like the late 50s, 60s era, with all the classic looking superheroes. It reminded me a lot of that movie. This is a fantastic DC animated movie. If you're a fan of DC anything, the live action movies, especially if you're a fan of the DC animated universe stuff, you have to watch this movie. I will be buying this when it comes out on March 18th. I was pretty excited to watch it after I watched the trailers, so that's why I just bought the digital version of it, because it came out on Tuesday, early access. I didn't want to wait, so I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. So I'm going to give this one a freaking 9 out of 10. Like, I think it's that good. It's one of the better DC animated movies they've put out in quite a few years, guys. So 9 out of 10 for Justice Society World War II, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube later, because I have spoken.